It's taking me a second. I'm trying to get on my Wi-Fi. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Now let me send out my shares really quickly so that way we can get started for today. I hope all is well with everybody. We're going to be talking more about balancing our hormones and understanding how you could reclaim your energy with awareness and alignment as a woman, and understanding what alignment looks like and what the symptoms you're having, how they're pinpointed to your unalignment, to what your body is needing and what it's asking from you. And so bringing awareness to the root cause of the problem that we're having is how we be able to reverse the issues that we have going on. But first, we have to understand what's happening, and we have to know why we are in the space that we're currently in so that we can find the answers that we've been looking for. Because you can have a sense of that your body is off and something is wrong, but when you don't know where the root cause is coming from, nor do you understand how the body is impacted with the habits that you have when it comes to food, and how your energy leaks when you eat and consume terrible toxic foods, then you aren't going to be able to be in the space of waking up and having energy, or dealing with the PMS and or not dealing with the PMS, but not having PMS and not having mood swings, and not having painful, irregular, or heavy cycles, not having energy crashes throughout the day, because these are common issues that people deal with: having energy crashes, feeling fatigued, having anxiety and depression, sitting here and dealing with the issue of PMSing and thinking that this is a part of being a woman, and not realizing that not every single woman PMSs, and not every single person wakes up every single day and not having energies, and people don't always have energy crashes throughout the day. It's a matter of what foods that you eat and the products that you use and what habits you have around your health that impact the way that your body has these symptoms. What the root cause is your habits. And so when you don't understand that your body is not broken, this is not a part of being a woman, but it's rather you are overloaded and you haven't been taught how to regulate, you'll understand how the system is designed to keep you, they're designed to keep you sick. I'm going to be completely honest. It's designed to keep you feeling like you're lazy, or that you're undisciplined, or that you're doing it wrong, so that you blame yourself, instead of understanding that you aren't taught from a very, very young age how to sync with your cycle. When you first start actually going and seeing symptoms of puberty, you should be understanding what a cycle phase is and learning how to eat for the phases of cycles, so that you, when you actually start menstruating, are supporting your hormones and being balanced. But instead, we're taught as young girls, oh, you're becoming a woman. This is just a part of life. And when you get older, this is how you were able to become pregnant. And we're not taught how we are pushed past our limits every single day, and that's not what our design is supposed to be as a woman, because we itself are not the problem. It's the habits that we have based from the system that has trained us to keep pushing through a terrible toxic environment, instead of figuring out how to get rid of and get away from it. Because if we get away from it, then our body won't be sick and they won't be profiting off of us. But we live in a culture that teaches us to suppress. It teaches us to suppress our symptoms. It teaches us to ignore our symptoms. It teaches us to not understand these things. So then when they happen, we blame our own bodies, and we blame our body for having a natural response to toxins. And we live in a system that glorifies us as being productive and having burnout as much as possible, as long as you're producing and producing. We live in a society that does not teach us how to align with our own bodies and to restore our health, but instead to manage the problem that we're having going on. And when you think about management issues, when we think about managing things, managing a car, you're keeping it alive, correct? So if you're maintaining a disease, if you're managing a problem that you're having, you're keeping it alive. Instead of fixing it, you're keeping the issue alive. So stop managing and maintaining with the habits that you have. And because in the system does not train you how to have balance within yourself, you are going to continuously having imbalance inside of your body, because you're trained to have this. You're training your body to not trust you subconsciously. And this unawareness is making you disconnected from your body, and it's causing you to emotionally eat. It's causing you to be an overthinker. It's causing your body to respond with anxiety and depression and panic attacks. And it's a continuous pattern of hormonal imbalances, your energy levels being off, and your emotional state being all over the place. You having all this chaos inside of your body is not random, and it's not a chemical imbalance because you're a woman and this is a part of your cycle phases. But it's understanding the fact that you shouldn't be dealing with PMS every single month. PMSing is a common term that we use, but it's not normal. It is not normal for your body to not have regulated hormones. Fluctuations are different from imbalances and having irregular hormonal issues. Because you sitting here PMSing, that's irregular. That is not a normal thing that your body is supposed to do. But it's because you have been in fight or flight mode for years that your body reacts this way. This is a panic response. Just the same way your body panics when you have high cortisol, your body is panicking and showing you through the PMS, through the mood swings, through the fatigue, through the anxiety. And a lot of people are not realizing that it's stemming from the lack of nutrients in the foods that you consume. And when you're not getting enough nutrients, all your body can do is panic. Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it. So let's talk about what is happening inside the body and bringing awareness to why you're having the imbalances and how your body's anatomy is being impacted and understanding the internal systems. Because when your body is feeling off from you're constantly feeling stressed, you're skipping meals, or you're eating these quick fast meals, you're going and you're eating fast food, you're eating chain restaurants, right? You're eating a whole bunch of processed foods to make it through the day, and you're ignoring the cues from your body. You do understand that this makes your nervous system go into survival mode. And it's deeper than just cortisol, but it's literally putting you in fight or flight mode, which is a response for your body to survive. It's a response that your body starts to produce this stress-inducing environment inside of your body to cut off the other systems that it does not need during a time of survival. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. And so this means that your adrenal glands are now pumping out a high amount of cortisol nonstop. Consistently pumping out cortisol because you are in survival mode in order to cut off these non-essential organs and functions, like for example your digestive tract. Because if you're running from your life, from a person, from an animal, or etc., you don't need to be digesting and trying to go to the bathroom right now. So it's going to cut off your digestive tract from flowing the way that it should be, because we don't need that right now. We're trying to live. It's going to cut off your essential function of being able to tell you that you need actual nutrients, but instead, because you're in panic mode, you're using all this sugar, you're using all you're using and exerting a whole bunch of energy. So now you're going to be craving random foods. You're going to be sitting here thinking about junk, something that's quick, fast, and easy. People don't pinpoint and make the connection between what's going on inside the body and how your brain responds to what's going on, because your brain and your gut are directly connected. So if you have parasites, if your pH is not high enough, if you're eating a whole bunch of terrible toxic foods, and now subconsciously your brain has been trained to not crave natural foods, your brain is going to respond by telling your stomach every single time you see those bag of chips, you're hungry. Every single time you see your favorite snack, now you're craving it, and your craving won't go away. You see chocolate on TV, you hear him crack open a Sprite, and now you're salivating. You have been subconsciously trained to respond to these terrible foods and re-establishing your brain that, hey, this is okay for me to consume every single time you eat it. This is something that I need, knowing that the Sprite makes you more dehydrated than when you first started drinking it. But in your brain, you're craving a Sprite, so now you have to have a Sprite. No one is not going to give you any type of hydration whatsoever. And now you drink a whole Sprite, no water today. But that Sprite from McDonald's was so good, right? And this cortisol itself is not bad for you. That is coming from the survival mode. The problem is that when you have high cortisol or low cortisol, that's when it becomes dangerous. Because this high cortisol and low cortisol is your body's response to turn off the non-vital systems right then. But when you have balanced cortisol, that is your body telling you you're safe, you're okay. We're regulating our stress hormone. And that's how you get into a space of balance. But when you are staying in a space of high cortisol, at some point you're going to hit a low. This is going to cause you to have the energy shift that now you're having all this anxiety and panic attacks and you're holding on to weight and you can't figure out why. But it's literally because your body is saying, we're dying. Because let's be honest, when you have high cortisol, that's your body saying, okay, we have a lot going on right now. So I'm going to start moving things and I'm going to start making these hormones do this. And I'm going to start panicking and I'm going to start moving and categorizing things as we don't need this, we need this. We don't need this to live, we do need this. But when you are sitting there in a low cortisol state, that's the same way as your heart rate starts to get too low. Your body is going, I can't even function correctly to categorize what is not needed and needed anymore. Your body is literally just kicked into survive. Hopefully we make it tomorrow. Hopefully everything works out. And that's not safe, because then you are in a space where your cortisol has been elevated for too long. It's been pulling your energy away from your reproductive system, your digestive system, and then it hit an all-time low. So now you're not only not pumping out cortisol correctly, but now your reproductive system has been impacted. Your digestive tract has been impacted. And this is going to cause your liver to be congested, because your liver is your detoxification place. So if it's not detoxifying and releasing all this excess cortisol, it's also holding on to excess estrogen, because when you have that adrenal gland pumping out all this cortisol, a lot of people don't realize it's also going to start panic pumping out estrogen for women, because your body is trying to regulate itself. This is how your body tries to regulate itself, by producing more of your feminine hormone, which is estrogen. And so then now you have an overload of estrogen, and now you're estrogen dominant, and your liver is trying to detoxify cortisol and estrogen. And then on top of this, your gut is inflamed because your digestive tract is not being supported. Your digestive tract has literally been sluggish. It's been slowed down. Your blood sugar starts to fluctuate every single time that you eat, because when you consume foods and you don't use stabilizers, you're fluctuating your blood sugar. And then suddenly you feel like you're completely thrown off, and you feel like you're having an out-of-body experience, and you're trying to figure out why, but your hormones have not been in sync with themselves for years. Thank you for liking up the live. I really appreciate it. Your body for years has been telling you, I need help, I need support, and you're not doing it correctly. Because think about it. If you've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years of your life, let's say that you hit the age of 50, and then all of a sudden you develop a fibroid, and you're going to the doctor and they're telling you, you have to have a fibroid surgery or you have to go on birth control. It's not just because the fibroid showed up because you turned 50 years old and it's a part of aging, but it's because you've been doing these same habits for 20 years, and your body has been showing you signs that your hormones have been out of sync with itself for years, but you didn't know what these symptoms meant. You didn't understand what the brain fog and the fatigue meant. You weren't understanding what the mood swings and the irritability was coming from, where the PMS was coming from, why you were having irregular or heavy cycles or painful menstrual cycles, because you're thinking this is a part of being a woman. Having issues with your sleep, whether it's you sleeping and you getting enough hours of sleep, and you sit here and you're thinking, well, I get enough hours of sleep, I have no energy, it's because I work a lot. But a lot of y'all aren't realizing, when you wake up and you have no energy, and you have slept for 8 hours, 12 hours, however long that your body naturally sleeps and wakes up, and you say, you know what, this was enough time, and you sit back and you're thinking that you have to depend on coffee for you to have energy, you have an imbalance. And your body throughout the night was not able to rest and to reset so you can have a good day. But instead, it was keeping you alive all throughout the night. And so all it was trying to do is, in panic mode, keep you alive. Survival. That makes your cortisol high as well. It's so you're continuously spiking your blood sugar when you're awake, having high cortisol when you're awake. A lot of women emotionally eat. And then think about you going to sleep as well. And then now you're asleep, and your cortisol is getting pumped throughout the body of a panic stress hormone to tell you, we have to keep you alive today. Your blood sugar is entirely too high for you to be asleep. So now you're waking up all throughout the night, going back and forth to the bathroom. Because that's what happens to a lot of people, especially people who are insulin resistant, because that is a sign that your blood sugar has not balanced itself. And so instead of your pancreas allowing you to be able to sleep throughout the night, and your liver, they're working hard to try to expel all that excess sugar, and your liver is trying to detoxify you while you're asleep. And so then, and during that process of it trying to release all these things, you're going back and forth to the bathroom, because that's the only way it can release. Because you don't do any type of effective detoxification. You do diet culture, which does not support you. You don't release on a normal basis. So all it can do while you're asleep is panic and try to catch up. Because this is the 8 to 12 hours, however long, that you're finally not eating. Do you understand how it's all connected? And when you are out of sync with yourself when it comes to your hormones specifically, you are going to be throwing off your gut, your pancreas, your kidneys, your heart, your liver, your brain. All of these are connected, and it's deeper than just, oh, I need a gut supplement or I need to detoxify my liver with a juice cleanse or a fruit fast. But actually understanding that in order for you to recover and to gain your energy back, you have to balance everything. Because if your brain is off, like I said, it's going to throw off your adrenal glands, which is going to throw off your energy. And this is going to impact how you function throughout the day. Oh, I really don't feel like cooking today. I'm really, really tired after all of this work. I'm going to go get McDonald's. Oh, it's lunchtime. I didn't pack anything last night because I was so tired. I couldn't do anything besides sit in front of my TV and eat dinner last night. So now I'm going to Burger King. I really can't work out after work today because even though I had planned it and I'm paying for this membership, I am so tired and I don't know why, even though I slept enough. Because we've all been there. I was there before I went plant-based. I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I have no energy, and I don't know why, because I slept enough. I haven't even done a whole lot of work in my brain. I'm like, I just went to work and I came home. Why can't I work out? And it's not because you're being lazy, but it's literally because you were overworked and you're exhausted internally. And not overworked like, oh my goodness, I have all this stress with work, but literally your internal organs have been working all day to try to keep you alive. And it's deeper than just them functioning and doing what they're normally supposed to do. You're making them work 3 times harder from the time that you either fast and you think that you're doing it in order for you to lose weight because you're trying to stay in a calorie deficit. And a lot of y'all aren't realizing that your fast that you're trying to stay in a calorie deficit is doing more damage than you just eating all day, because you're not setting your body up to be in a space of fasting, but instead you're just jumping to a spur of a moment because somebody told you that intermittent fasting was the thing for you to do. A lot of y'all don't understand what you're doing to your body because you follow some diet culture on TikTok. Because the wellness industry, the pharmaceutical industry, they are connected, as well as the food industry. They are all have their hands in this pot of you being unhealthy and you having momentary band-aids thinking that these are going to fix the problems that you're having. They are all in the same realm of throwing you off. And imbalances aren't just physical, they're emotional and they're spiritual. And not only are they going to impact each other, but they're also going to cause you to unalive earlier than what you were designed to. Because I talk about this all the time, and I think it's in Ephesians. I really get it mixed up every single time, and I cannot find the verse because I forgot what chapter it is, and I have to go find it. I have to, because I need this, and I refer to this often. How the Most High talks about when you are following His wishes and His way and in His will, you receive the blessings of the Most High. But when you stop following that and you no longer follow His will, you choose your own path and you choose the enemy, He is going to give you away to the enemy. And what the repercussion of giving you away to the enemy is illness and disease. It literally says it in scripture. You develop illness and disease and you waste away. I'm doing amazing. How are you doing today? So really think about how society is impacted right now and how they are struggling and they're suffering. If illness and disease and wasting away is the repercussion of you not following the Most High Himself, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, like think about how these diseases literally make you ill and you slowly waste away. You have to pinpoint. So what is the difference between the people who are healthy, women running marathons at 90 years old, versus the people who are literally sitting here in the gym and they're working out and they're young and they're unaliving on TikTok? From what I have seen, not only from reviews for studies, for looking at these scientific journals, looking on Facebook, because Facebook people be telling all their business, and a whole bunch of other different research that I do. The one thing that is different between the people who sit on social media and they talk about how healthy they are versus the people who actually take care of their body in the space of using food as their medicine is eating fruits and vegetables. Because these gurus who are telling you that you need to eat the leanest meat possible and that's how you gain all your gains and this is how your body looks great, they're not worried about their internal system. And for the people who want to argue and they want to say that they don't have parasites and you eat meat and you consume dairy, I can guarantee if you go on a fruit cleanse for a week, you'll start to see parasites when you go to the bathroom. Because I'm somebody who's been plant-based for 5 years. And even me who only eats fruits and vegetables, if I decide that I'm going to eat out for a month or two because I want to say when I was working, I was super, super stressed one month, and I know this, and I had realized that like I had been eating out almost every other day, whether it was for lunch or it was for dinner. And I was like, I need to cleanse, I need to fast. I did a cleanse for 3 days, and I'm telling you, you have parasites. Like, as somebody who only eats fruits and vegetables and was only eating fruits and vegetables before, and still technically, because plant-based foods are still fruits and vegetables, was eating out as plant-based places and still could see the repercussions of my habits. And I don't eat meat and dairy. And so for the people who argue and are trying to say like, I don't have parasites, there's nothing wrong with eating meat, etc., it's been proven that it's inflammatory. You can't say it doesn't have parasites, because when you look at animals that are dead on the side of the road, you literally see bugs devouring them. And then on top of that, there's no possible way for the animal to be antibiotic free, for it to not have any injection, for it to not have all these different things that they say that they do to them, and only be fed on grass and not develop anything. And to be as big as they are. Like the math isn't math. But you have to have discernment, and you have to have the logical thinking. You literally have to have critical thinking in order for you to see past the BS that they're going to sell you. Because that's all they're doing, is selling something to you. And I know I went off on a tangent, but it's for you to understand that like your body is asking for safety within you. But when you cannot give it safety because you're too busy following the same toxic environment that you were in and relying on the toxic environment, you are never going to be able to feel safe. So then your emotions are going to be all over the place. It's not random. Your body is overloaded. And so then toxic foods, overstimulation, and constant comparison of what you think you should be doing and how your body should be looking is making your nervous system go, she's been doing this for years. I don't think I trust her anymore. And you know what? She's pushing through even though I'm telling her I need a rest. She's overperforming in the space of the gym when I really need her to eat correctly. And you're not feeling like you, and you're trying to figure out why. It's because you're trying to follow somebody else's regimen and agenda that is not supporting you. A lot of these gurus follow studies based off of men's bodies. How is a woman, are you supposed to follow another man, period? For what is your health? Like, really sit back and think about it. Because majority of scientific studies, because we kind of just started doing women's research in the past like 10 years and actually applying it. And they're not even really applying it because we know this. Older generations, they're still at their jobs working. And they're still in these high up positions. And so a lot of times they haven't even changed their methods to the madness. So think about how for years they have been basing our health off of studies done on men. How are you supposed to rely on a study that's not even done on women? And we know that every single woman's body specifically is in another rhythm. It's on another cycle rhythm. Because men have a 24-hour clock. We also have that 24-hour clock. This is how we wake up, go to sleep, etc., right? This is how you naturally wake up with the sun. If you wake up with the sun, some people are night people. It just depends. But women have a separate clock that is our moon clock, which is our cycle phases. And our cycle phases are directly connected to how we should be eating, how we should be working, how we should be planning, how you should be cleaning. But when you're not operating according to that system and that structure, you're going to have issues feeling safe within yourself, having anxiety, dealing with irregular cycles that you can't explain why it's so painful or why it's heavy or why it won't go away. Because I've talked to a woman who said that she was having her cycle for almost 2 years. And it's crazy to think that a doctor told her that was normal. You're exhausted, you're anxious, and you're feeling numb on the inside because you feel like you're doing the right things, but nothing is working. And so this is when you get into the space of believing there's something wrong with your body. But what is wrong is you haven't rebuilt the trust within your body. You haven't released anything. And this is not going to help you in the space of you fixing the problem. When you don't release, when you don't rebuild trust, you are going to continuously be nurturing the problem, managing, instead of nurturing your health, supporting your system. So this is why you're feeling so disconnected. It's because you're in a system that profits off of you being disconnected, you being confused, you not understanding your own design. not realizing how you're dependent on symptom management instead of getting to the space of releasing and resetting so that you're no longer suffering from the symptoms. Because the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and the wellness industry are all feeding off of each other. It's a circle. And they keep you in the middle of that circle so that they're getting profit from you from each aspect. Because there's no reason for them to be projecting to make $1 trillion profit off of people being diabetic and obese. There's no reason. By 2030, they are projecting to make it over $1 trillion profit. And they're telling you to cut out all these calories. They're telling you no more carbs, take a prescription, drink your caffeine, right? And then you just keep on grinding through and you should be fine. But none of that has worked. Like, majority of these gurus out here that are telling you that this is the way for you to do it, take this supplement, cut these calories, they're unhappy, they're hungry, and then on top of that, a lot of them have health problems. And somebody asked me that to comment on some guru who had passed away, and I saw it on my like browser, and I didn't know who they were, but they had commented and was like, what do you think about this person? Because they were talking about, like, they talk about eating the leanest meats, like they were talking about this, and her parents made a statement and said that there was nothing related to any health issues. She just passed away peacefully in her sleep. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy, because everybody's talking about how healthy she is and all these different things, and she just magically passed away in her sleep out of nowhere. And I just think that a lot of people don't realize that there is a mask that people wear on social media that is really in the space of the guru, the influencer space. Because people talk about all the time how the influencers are the problem, these gurus are the problem. And I don't categorize myself as somebody who's trying to be a social media influencer. I am somebody who is a plant-based person. You could walk up to me on the side of the street asking me what I do and how I do it, what's my skin looking like, and this is my lifestyle. Like, I'm not a guru person who is sitting here on social media posting all of my life, because I'm here to educate you on the space of what not only I've been taught, what I have learned, what I research, and spreading the knowledge of what's going on in our society. I don't need to influence you with my lifestyle culture of this is what my plate looks like and it's so pretty and look at how I can film things. Because if you're not happy in the space of where you are, and you're trying to put a mask on, a facade on social media of this is what I do and this is how I act, what happens when you have a bad day? You know what I mean? Like, I think about this all the time for the people who do that, where they post lifestyle content and then they go ghost for a month or two, and then they're coming back talking about like, oh, life was so hard and all these different things. And I'm like, that's the difference between authenticity, because everybody goes through a hard time. But I'm not sitting here trying to promote and say, oh, I eat the prettiest plates ever and this is what it is. A lot of times I'll cook something and I'm like, this plate looks crazy, but it's delicious. like I am not sitting here trying to be the plating guru, like, oh, this is the best plate that I've ever made in my life, and let me show you how you can make this best plate of your life every single day. Because some days it's going to be a quick, fast meal, and other days it's going to be the most elaborate meal. Some days I want to bake and cook. Some days I just want to bake. Some days I just want to cook. Other days I'm like, I'll just throw this in the air fryer and go on about my business. But the problem is that people don't set themselves up for success in the space of health. And that's what I teach. I teach people how to set themselves up for the space of supporting your natural rhythm and supporting your body through knowing what it needs. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if you're having a bad day, what does that look like for you? Because a lot of people, when they're having a bad day, their first thought is, I can't take care of myself. I don't deserve to take care of myself, so I'm going to give myself the bare minimum. And a lot of times you don't have the energy to take care of yourself in a time of a bad day. But when you set yourself up for success, having a bad day does not mean you don't take care of your body. I set myself up, if I have a bad day, I don't want to cook, I'm just not feeling it, I have black bean burgers in the freezer. I have different chickpeas are quick, fast, and easy. I have healthy snacks for me to go and grab. Oh, I'm on the go. I have healthy places for me to be able to eat if I'm out on the go. Not just turning around and saying, there's nothing for me to eat. I guess I just have to eat French fries. Because that's the space where a lot of people are in, because they don't set themselves up for success. I talk to a lot of people who they either been plant-based or they currently are plant-based that struggle with that, where they get into a space where it's been a hard day, it's been a hard time, and now they're sitting there talking about how they can't. Oh goodness, she's about to throw up. Here you go, baby. Go this way, go this way, go this way. Oh, not in the bed. Oh my goodness, hold on, y'all. Not in the bed. Don't throw up in the bed. I don't want to throw up in the bed. I'd rather clean it up off the floor. Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know what she's throwing up about, but she's definitely throwing up, that baby. Oh my goodness. No. Okay, you're okay. You're okay. No. Oh goodness. I think she's gonna do it again. Hold on, y'all. I'm so sorry. Come here. Come here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go clean that up. I hate to end live abruptly the way that I am, but if you want to check out more, learn about my balanced body program, if you want to gain all that regulation that you were needing, and if you are looking for a space of having a blueprint that is going to support you and give you a strategy step by step of how to not only release the stress that you have going on, give your body that safety that it needs, regulate your habits, regulate your hormones, and support yourself in cycle syncing as a woman, I have my balanced body program linked in my bio. It's going to support you in not only supporting those organs, supporting you in shifting your habits, and also walking you step by step of cycle syncing, and just overall as a woman, helping you keep that balance, sustaining that balance, and allowing your health to be restored, because too many people are having the issue of playing a guessing game in society. So I gotta go clean this up. I don't know if I'll be back this week, but if not, I'll be back on Sunday. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'm out, y'all. Go check the link in my bio, and go check out my YouTube.